Good morning everybody, Paul here, hope you're all well. Just to give you an insight into this week's video, basically we're going to be starting off with some fundamentals and then moving into the swing. It's based for any level of golfer, so if you're new to the game you're going to pick up some new points. If you're well established you're going to be going over old grounds, but it's so important just to make sure that all our fundamentals are in place before we swing the club. You probably are aware that when we manage our setup better, the swing feels a lot easier to control as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to start off with the grip and then we're going to work our way through a process up until we eventually complete the swing. Let's begin by taking a look at the grip. There's been many videos talked about the perfect grip. If you look on tour, you know, they're all fractionally different, so not one hold is exactly the same. But it does have a real influential concept with the golf club, and what we're really trying to do is control this club head, and this comes from the hands because it's the only link to the club. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin by talking about the left hand followed by what is the purpose of the grip. First thing, club face has to return to the ball square for the ball to fly straight. We also need the ability to have two different types of motions within the wrists. We need a cocking motion, leverage, okay, and we also need a released opening and closing movement of the wrist. So for us to have that within the mechanics of the golf swing, we need to grip the club. So when we're looking to build the correct grip, we've also got to look at the club face alignment. So before you actually put your hands onto the club, I would definitely have the club head up in the air with the leading edge square to the target line, so looking at the heel and toe. So this would give us a closed club face, this would give us an open club face. And generally when we're looking to apply the left hand, what I would do is have the club up in the air like so. I'm literally supporting the club with my right hand towards the base of the grip, and then from there I can let my left hand come into position. So on a standard grip we generally have some guidelines. Here there's two white lines, and the reason I'm using this is because I want to try and explain to you where to position the left hand. So as we put the left hand towards the grip, the padded section of that left hand just sits on those two lines, and that will just enable you to hold the club at its fullest length. Now the next thing is basically where do we place the grip through the hand? Well, basically the fingers would be pointing more downwards. We want to rest the grip through the midsection of the index finger. The grip's then running diagonally through my fingers and appearing just above the small finger. I would then just position my thumb slightly off center to the right. Now that will allow me to view the left hand, and I want to be able to display between 2 and 3 knuckles. There will be a very slight sort of V shape between the lead arm and the wrist. Now between the thumb and the forefinger there's a crease line there that's sort of pointing more towards my chin and my right shoulder. So that would give me a good checkpoint for my left hand. Commonly, as a mistake, what I may see, people believe they've got the grip resting through the fingers, but actually it's a little too high up in the palm. So this could create some problems within the swing, in particular the club face and the leverage system. And when you look at my left hand there, you can see that we've maybe just got the one knuckle visible there. So if I come up onto the mat, through the palm, we may then get the left arm, left wrist and hand sat a little bit too high. Okay, so you know, we may have some issues with the club, and therefore we may have to then try and square it by releasing the club with the bottom hand. That will apply loft and you'd hit a sort of higher, weaker shot. Also with that position we may struggle for the correct leverage system in the backswing, usually applying tension in the left arm and therefore not fulfilling a full turn within the backswing. So guys, there's my tips on the left hand. Just follow my guidelines and check what you're doing. Onto the right hand now, so we've got a left hand established. Very much a finger style grip this. So with your left hand on, what I would generally advise is, you know, grip down on the shaft, rest it right through the center section of your fingers, slide your hand up to make contact with the top hand. Now what we want to do next is just try and get the meat area, the padded area of my right hand to sit over the left thumb. So that would sit on like so, and then the thumb of the bottom hand, the right hand, would just rest slightly to the left. As far as the trigger finger, there's a very slight gap between the two fingers, and my thumb is just resting to hit the tip of that finger. Now when we're looking at applying the right hand, we also need to look at the connection. So again, coming from this angle here, the way I'm holding the club right now is called a baseball style grip. Very useful for beginners, junior golfers as well, and just to get you started. Now we can do an overlapping grip and an interlocking grip. None are really right or wrong. It just favours the individual and how it feels on the club. So I use an overlapping grip. Tiger Woods uses an interlocking grip, as does Jack Nicklaus. So it's a matter of preference when it comes down to the way you hold the club and how comfortable it feels to you. So we've got our linkage there, and that's the way the grip would look with both hands on together. So the bottom crease line here would also try and match the top hand, again facing more up towards the chin and the right shoulder. So both hands are comfortably placed onto the club with the club face. Final topic related to the grip, and that's just the pressure within the hands onto the handle. So a good way to make the hands feel light on the club is certainly holding it more through the fingers and not the palms. Relating to numbers, in the address position, if 1 is the lightest and 10 is the firmest, basically I want you to try and think of between a number 4 and 5 to help you just stay relaxed when you're in a set-up position. So guys, that concludes the grip. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at the posture and stance. So thanks for watching, take care.